Hey guys, welcome back to my July 2019 PS3 pickups part 2. So if you haven't seen part 1, that is on my channel, so please go and check that out first of all. So as I said in the last video, in part 1 I was going to do the games that I played, which I did, and in part 2 I was going to show you the games I picked up recently that I haven't played. Turns out I actually got that wrong, which is no surprise, but there you go. So the games in this video, I've got 15 games to show you. Some of them I've played through before, some of them I've played a little bit but haven't completed. And then the last couple are games I've never played at all, and I only know what they are. I don't know what they actually like to play. I know obviously what the gameplay style is and what to expect from what I've seen when they was released originally. Anyway, first up is a great one. It's a compilation, a collection, and when my dad got this bundle for me, I saw this and I was like, I cannot wait to play that. It's brilliant. So, nice bit of retro to start with. It is the Sega Mega Drive Ultimate Collection, or if you're in the States, the Sega Genesis Ultimate Collection. So it's got a stack of games on here. I've only played a couple quickly so far. I had to go on Shinobi 3 because it's one of my favourites. I've got to be honest, I think the emulation is actually really solid. I was quite surprised, I thought it was going to be quite shit, but no, visually it looks fantastic, handles really well, works really well on the controller. Despite the PlayStation's crap D-pad, it actually works pretty decently. Sounds really good on it. So yeah, I was actually quite surprised at the level of emulation on this. So I played Shinobi 3, then I played one of my absolute favourite Mega Drive games, Sonic Spinball, which is just awesome. I love that game. I love everything about that. The music in that game, so cool. It can be a little frustrating when you can't progress and you're trying to get him to go in the one direction he won't go, and you keep trying to flip the little bugger and he won't get up there. But yeah, I love Sonic Spinball, cracking game. So I had a quick blast on those two, and I had a blast of course on Streets of Rage 2, because you know you have to. But overall I was quite impressed. There's still a lot of other stuff on there, like the Sonics and that. It's interesting they picked games like Vector Man, which I wouldn't have thought would have been really, really popular games to put on there. I thought there would have been all the obvious stuff like the Sonics, the Shinobis, the Streets of Rage, obviously they're on there. I wouldn't have expected to put something like Vector Man on there. So I was quite chuffed actually, because I love that game, so I'm looking forward to playing that one again. Next one up is one of a series, and that is Saints Row the Third, which I have played through. So I've played through the first 3 Saints Row games, big fan of these. Haven't yet played number 4. I did dabble with it when I had an Xbox One, because I tried Game Pass for a month and I downloaded it, and it was good, it was decent. It's just like pretty much like every other Saints Row game. You know, I mean the first one was fairly serious on the Xbox 360, which was an exclusive, and then 2 was just completely mental, and they went rent for it big time basically, just ridiculous humour and totally over the top customisation on the character. And then number 3 was great, and the story just gets more silly by the game. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Saints Row. I actually really enjoy those games a lot. Although at the moment I won't be playing that because I'm playing too many open world games. I need a break. Because recently I've played through Watch Dogs again, I played through Mafia 3 after that, and I'm currently playing through GTA 5. So I need something a bit more streamlined, like a 6-hour campaign or something just to chill out with next. Next one, I don't know why I've never played this properly. I've only played this briefly when it came out, and it never grabbed me, and it should have because I love the first game. But it is Condemned 2. Now the original game, Condemned, was an Xbox 360 exclusive, then Condemned 2 came to both 360 and PS3. And I remember getting Condemned 2 and playing it, and I wasn't that impressed with it. It didn't feel as good as the first game. So I want to go back and give it a try, because the first game is one of my absolute favourite games of that generation. I remember when the Xbox 360 came out in December of 2005, I had Perfect Dark Zero, I had Project Gotham 3, Call of Duty 2, and Condemned. I think I didn't get Cameo, so I think those were the only games I got at launch from what I can remember. And obviously Perfect Dark was shit. Project Gotham was great, but it doesn't, you know, there's not enough depth. Like, you basically just got to race your cars and stuff, so, you know, depends what you're looking for, doesn't it? But in terms of story games, we had Perfect Dark, which was a big letdown. I will go back and play that at some point because I really want to try it again, but I know I just couldn't get on with that game. It was a nice looking game, but it was, God, it was boring. And then, of course, Call of Duty 2 was absolutely fantastic, but, you know, again, it's just a first-person shooter, but it is still one of the best Call of Duties ever made. And then Condemned was the only game I had really that had a real good movie-style story to it, and I really enjoyed Condemned. I spent hours and hours and hours on that game. I was constantly playing it. Never managed to finish it, by the way. I got stuck. There's a bit where you're in, I think it's the swimming pool near the end. I could never get through that part of the game. It drove me insane. But the thing I loved about it was the intensity of the horror, the way that you'd hear the drug addicts and these cracked out lunatics just shouting shit at you and abusing you and screaming. and running around and you don't know where they are, especially because back then I had a surround system as well. It was absolutely awesome. And there's a bit where you're in like, I think it's like a mall or a shop or something. I can't really remember. And there's mannequins everywhere, so you don't know which ones are mannequins, which ones are people. It's absolutely brilliant, and they hide behind pillars and shout abuse at you. And it's a great game. Plus, it had a cool cop investigating a murder narrative. So I thoroughly enjoyed the first one. So I really need to go back and try Condemned 2 again, because I want to see what they did afterwards. And I also need to pick up Condemned for the 360 at some point, because I do want to play it again. I want to finish it because it's a cracking game, that is. So if you've never played Condemned, by the way, it's a first-person horror game where you're investigating a murder as a cop, and you have these little tools that you can use, like infrared and night vision, what do you call it? Basically, like blood comes up in purple, which is usually when you use luminol, but in the games you use a device to look at it. But you do all that sort of stuff, you investigation, detective stuff. But then you can also, you can get guns, but realistically, the game's not really about shooting people. So you only get limited ammunition in your shotguns and your handguns. It's more about melee combat, so you're picking up planks of wood and pipes, and it's pretty vicious, but it's an absolutely great game. So yeah, I'd recommend the first Condemned if you've never played it. If I played the second one and I enjoy it, I recommend that as well. Right, next up was a game I really didn't like when it came out. It was really hyped and it looked absolutely beautiful. The visuals were fantastic, but I just couldn't get on with it. The game bugged the shit out of me at the time. But I wanted to add it into the collection because it's part of the bundle. So I thought, why not? I'll give it another shot. And it is Rage from id Software. I just could not get on with this game at all. And it's like a massive open world type FPS sort of game. It's really cool. You've got some really cool enemies around there bouncing around the screen. The AI is fantastic in the game, but the one thing I remember is I had a problem with doors. I can't remember what it was now. It's been so long since that game came out. But I remember I had a problem with getting stuck in doorways and things, and it was a pain in the ass. And I think there was one point where I had to find a key or something, classic Doom style like he'd do, and it vexed the hell out of me. I know I talked about it on my channel at the time when it first came out, and it was really pissing me off. But I do want to give it another try. I want to see if it holds up graphically as well. But it's got that kind of almost RPG bullshit to it, where you have to talk to people and stuff, and I can't be arsed with all that. If I'm playing a first-person shooter, I just want to run around and gun shit down and blow stuff up, you know what I mean? I don't want to be like investigating and levelling up and all these other cobblers. But well, not investigating, I'm just talking to people, because that would undermine what I just said about Condemned, wouldn't it? Next up is part of I'll just take it out of his slipcase so you can see it. A series that I'm not a big fan of at all, but this one was okay, and it is Killzone 3, the Steelbook edition, which I didn't even know existed. So you can see it, there you go. There's anything inside it? No, it's just some leaflets of the usual crap that you get in modern gaming. Killzone on the PS2 was good. I enjoyed that. That was a fun game. Killzone 2, obviously, the old E3 demo where they did a bit of a pre-render and lied to us and told us it was going to look like on the PS3, which it clearly never was, but they came pretty close. I think they did a pretty good job actually in the end. But Killzone 2, I could never play it. The aiming I just couldn't get the guns to work properly. It was twitchy as hell, and no matter what I tried to do, I couldn't shoot anyone. So I never got to play it properly, and I got annoyed by the game, which was a real shame because it looked quite nice. Killzone 3, I really enjoyed it as a gameplay on my channel, where I did a bit of a Saturday night special, I think it was, on that one. It was alright, it was good, but God, it's boring. That's the problem with Killzone. I always found with Killzone games, they are really, really boring to play. The narrative's shit. The game is just boring. I mean, for an FPS, it shouldn't be boring, but it's a slugfest, By the time I got to the end of number 3, I was just glad it was over. So, yeah, I'm not... what's the name of the company again? I've forgotten the name of the company. Guerrilla, that's it, I've just seen the logo in the corner. Yeah, and of course they made Horizon Zero Dawn, which I also tried to play and was bored to tears with. So that didn't work for me either. I know everybody raves about that game, they say it's amazing, but I thought it was shite. So there you go. Right, next up, played through this, really enjoyed it. It's nothing special, but it is Battlefield 4. I actually thought this was quite decent, actually, the storyline of it. Only downside is, I don't know if it's every version or just the PS4 version, but there's a bug in the game where there's just a level where you have to, an area where you have to rescue, I think he's like a diplomat or some bullshit, and you have to get into a helicopter on a landing pad. When you get into the helicopter, you get attacked by a load of guys. If you don't kill them, you get killed, and the screen goes black, the game resets, and all you get is audio. You can just hear the same scene playing itself out, but you can't actually play the game because you can't see anything. So you have to completely reboot the game and start from the original checkpoint and do the whole mission again. Very frustrating. When I first found that out, I was so annoyed because I had to do it about 4 times before I actually managed to get through it without dying. It was really annoying. I found in the end you just crouch behind the it's not a wall, it's like a metal fence, and there's like girder type, not girders, like metal plates basically, armour plates, and you just hide behind there, let your mates kill a few of them, and then just pick them off when you can, and then you survive and get away. But I thought it was alright actually, Battlefield 4. It's got some good moments. I mean, Battlefield games are never great. They're alright. They're just okay. You know, I find that they have some good levels, some bad levels. Story's never really that interesting to me. I don't really care. But yeah, they're alright. I mean, 3 and 4 I enjoyed anyway. I do want to play number 5 at some point because that looked really cool. I don't know if it is, but it looked good. So we'll see. Next up, I've got a couple of. I've got 3 Call of Duty games, so we'll just burn through them. So first up is one that I really like, which is Ghosts. Now, it's crap on the PS3, I ain't gonna lie. Graphically, it does not hold up at all. Still plays well, but graphics look terrible. So you want to get it on the PS4, the Xbox One if you want to play it at all. But I actually think Ghosts is one of the most underrated Call of Duty games in the series. It's a really good game. It's actually got a really decent storyline. The level design is really good. I can't remember what the dog's called, but you've got the dog that you use as well to attack enemies. It's a really fun time. I played through it a few months back actually on the PS3. I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really solid game, and I was really surprised how well it holds up. Definitely one of the best narratives in a Call of Duty anyway, by far. And couple that with really good solid Call of Duty gameplay as well. So yeah, I definitely recommend Ghost if you've not tried it. I mean, to be honest, I think most people have played pretty much all Call of Duties by this point, I would assume. I know a lot of people don't play campaign, they play multiplayer, I don't know. So yeah, if you want to try campaign, that's one of the ones to try. Next up, we got Call of Duty Black Ops 2, which I also played through recently. Don't know why I keep showing the front twice, but there you go. Call of Duty Black Ops 2 is one of the futuristic ones. You've got all these crazy weapons and drones and shit. It's actually pretty good. I really like it. The first Black Ops in Vietnam is excellent. The second one, I know that a lot of people got annoyed with all the whole futuristic thing. I understand it got a bit overdone. I thought it was quite good in number 2 actually. It was a fun little game, and I enjoyed playing it all the way through. Number 3 is a load of shit, but number 2 was really good. Next up, I haven't played it since it first came out, and I should do because it was great. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, the first Modern Warfare game. So yeah, COD 4, obviously been remastered on the PS4 as far as I'm aware. Great game. As I say, I've only played it once when it first came out. I was really, actually at the time, I was actually completely blown away. And I remember going back into work while I was playing it at the time, and another bloke who I was working with was playing it, and we kept, the great thing about, video games, we'd go to work each day and be like, oh, where you got to? When you come in the morning, and he'd be like, oh, I got here, and I go, oh, I've just done this and I've just done that. It's like, oh, try not to spoil it for each other. But it's like, it was a really good water cooler moment, to coin a phrase. But I really enjoyed COD 4. It was excellent. Oh God, it's so hot today. Really, really, heat's just killing me off. Next one is Kane and Lynch Dead Men. Is it? Yeah, Dead Men. Third person action game. I remember playing it at the time, and I think if I remember right, the reason I haven't finished that game is because you can't invert the aim, and I can't play without invert. It's impossible. I just cannot play a game. So it stopped me playing the game, which was a real shame because it looked decent. But I have completed this one. I really like this. This is Kane and Lynch 2 Dog Days. Come in a little slipcase as well. So it's a very, very short game. Literally a couple of, I don't even know, it's got to be about 3 or 4 hours. It wasn't very long. I remember playing it the first time round, and I just flew through it. But it's extremely violent, extremely vicious, and a lot of fun. If you love just a straight up third person cover shooter, no bells and whistles, just shooting the shit out of people, that's a game for you. Dirt cheap, ton of fun. Right, next up, just arrange those again. Okay, these next 4 are games I've not played. Well, the first one I've literally played a little bit of when it came out. I didn't like it, but I might give it another try, and that is Far Cry 2. Again, it's another situation where it's a first person shooter, which is great, but it's a massive expansive bloody world. You've got to travel around and all this, and I just thought, I can't be arsed. I got bored in the end. I was like, I can't bother doing it, and I gave up on it. But I haven't played these 2, and I'd like to, because the story's not really good on these. So we've got number 3, Far Cry 3, and of course we've got Far Cry 4, but this is the limited edition, which probably means nothing. It probably means you get some bullshit skin or something. Yeah, I remember obviously number 3, the E3 demo with that dude on the front there doing the whole speech about the definition of insanity, and number 4 is like an Uncharted 2 Himalayan adventure. So they look pretty damn cool actually. But I don't know. It might be different now, because I mean, like games and films, I've had this where I'll play a game and it just won't connect with me, or I'll be in a bad mood and I'll just be like, I can't get on with this, and I'll sack it off and not bother again. And then I'll come back to it like weeks later, months later, years later, play it, and I'll be like, what the hell was I thinking? This is brilliant. So you never know, I might go back and play Far Cry 2 and actually enjoy it. And then I'll play 3 and 4. Now, the most important game of this set of games is the last one. And this is a game I talked about a couple of videos back in my 6 monthly pickup, where I said that I got the first 2. I really wanted to pick up the third one because I loved the first game. Second one I've never finished, but I want to go back and finish now I've got it. I've got about 3/4 of the way, halfway, 3/4 of the way through it. This third one I've only ever played the demo, and it's supposed to be possibly the best one in the series. So I'm very much looking forward to playing it. Resistance 3. Very happy to have this, finally. So yeah, the demo was excellent. And as it happens, I watched a video yesterday. There's a channel I found on YouTube. I don't really know how you pronounce the channel name. It's Gamers, but they use, I think it was a V instead of an A. Oh, fuck knows, I don't know. But I've no idea why. But I thought, I'll look at their videos, because they did a video on Medal of Honor that I watched first of all. It's like I think it's like an hour-long documentary or something about the series of Medal of Honor games and why they declined in the end, which was a really good video. They do loads of videos about different series. And they did one on the Resistance series and what happened to it, and they went through all of the games. And it was really cool watching it. It was really interesting to see the differences in the gameplay and the narrative between the 3 main games, and then of course the handheld games on PSP and the Vita as well. And they were saying that how good number 3 was, and it was critically acclaimed, and also the fans loved it as well. And apparently he doesn't focus on Nathan Hale. It's a completely different style of story with a different character, and it's more about the people without the power instead of the super soldiers, and you know, like the human story. I thought, yeah, that sounds really good. That's like a proper like PlayStation exclusive narrative, like something like Naughty Dog would do. So I'm very excited to check out Resistance 3. I am going to try and play through number 2 first of all, if it doesn't piss me off. Because last time I tried to play it, I got so annoyed by the enemies. The enemies just swarm the shit out of you, and it's like, ah. So I could always knock it down too easy and just burn through it just to get the story, and then go on to number 3. Or I could just not bother with number 2 and play number 3, because as I say, it's a different character, different storyline. So realistically, it's an independent game, so it doesn't really matter. So yeah, we'll see. But anyway, and in the background you can see Aero Blasters, which is my current favourite shooter. It's on the Mega Drive, by the way, Genesis, if you don't know. Absolutely brilliant horizontal shooter. I was really surprised. I started playing it the other day because I saw some random person on Instagram had put a photograph up of it, and I thought, oh, that looks really nice. So I'll give it a shot, stuck it on the emulator, and it's actually really, really good. Quite tough, but it's a really fun title. And it's Jalico and all, which surprised me. It's actually a really competent shooter, so there you go. Not that Jalico are a really bad company, because I like Rival Turf, but you don't expect them to make quality games, just average games, and that was actually quite decent. Anyway guys, there you go. So that's the second part of my PS3 pickups, and thank you very much for watching. As always, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think about any of those games I've shown you, and I'll see you next week.